Here's what we know. We know that creators are broke, and we know that brands need content. We're building out this marketplace that's gonna help you connect with brands. And no, as a creator, you don't have to have a huge following. All you have to do is make great content. If this is something you're interested in, just join our community and be one of the early access to get on the platform. Click on the link in our description, text the word creator or podcast, and join the community today. Hayden, welcome to the podcast today. I'm looking forward to talking to you. Why don't you introduce yourself to the world a little bit?
Lucas, thank you so much for having me. My name is Hayden Cashion. I've been doing marketing since 2017, so for about 5 years now. Specifically in the digital marketing space, I run an organization called Cashion Marketing, which focuses on utilizing paid advertising to drive business results for clients in a multitude of industries. Typically it's product sales or lead generation, and we basically use Facebook, Instagram, Google, and now TikTok advertising to drive those business results. Our goal is whatever our clients pay us, we want to make sure that we drive enough results that it makes them profitable all in every single month, and then scale those results as far as we can. And my second venture that we just launched yesterday, it's called Modern Marketing. So in 2017, I actually took a certification program to help me learn a lot about digital marketing, and it got me my internship and a foot into the industry. That allowed me to work at an agency and then start my own company, all while I was a student. And last year they actually shut it down, and so it kind of broke my heart. At first, me and a partner tried to acquire it. After doing our due diligence, we realized we wanted to just run it ourselves. And so essentially it's an 11-week intensive digital marketing certification program. And on the back end, we've partnered with employers who are going to give interviews to people who graduate the program. But funny enough, a lot of the sales that we've had up front are people that don't actually want to get a job on the back end. They just want to learn their skills because either they already own a company and they want to implement them, or they're in a current job and they want to get promoted. So that's what I'm up to right now.
You're doing a lot of stuff, man. You're killing it.
Thank you.
What made you get into this industry, the digital marketing world?
It was a bit of a fluke. I actually went to University of Economics first before I switched schools and went to marketing. But the thing about me is I've always been a math person and I've always been a creative. And I think marketing, especially digital marketing these days, blends those two, because you get to put out the content, you get to think about the audience and come up with a creative strategy to get them. But on the other side, you get to see the data in real time against everything that you're doing and run the math and get to understand, like, how do I need to tweak this? Where do I need to reallocate budget? Is it a product issue? Is it a website issue? Is it a content issue? And so I think it blends my two natural passions. And so I was blessed to find it early enough in my life, and now I'm just trying to execute it as hard as I can.
That's dope. Man, tell me about TikTok from your perspective.
TikTok was a funny one because I was watching it evolve. I wasn't actually like fast mover on the platform. I only got on last August. And for a long time being in the marketing industry, I was telling a lot of people, like, you need to get on TikTok, you need to get on TikTok. But at the time my business was doing very well, and so I just wasn't like as, I guess, quick to move, but I was always telling people to do it. And then one day somebody asked me, well, what do you do on TikTok? And they straight up didn't know. They were just asking me. And I'm the type of guy that, like, when somebody calls me out, even if they don't mean to call me out, I act right away. And so literally, like, it was on a Wednesday, I'll never forget. They're like, what are you doing on TikTok? And I was like, no, I'm doing nothing on TikTok. And they're kind of like, well, why? Why are you telling me to do TikTok and you're not doing TikTok? And so that Wednesday, I made a call, got a videographer, shot content that weekend, and started posting the next Wednesday. And I've never stopped posting since. I post twice a day on my personal profile and actually 4 times a day on the Modern Marketing Certificate. So my monthly output of content is 180 TikTok videos.
Wow, that's a lot.
It's intense.
Wow. So
yeah,
what's the strategy behind that? Because I can't, that's a lot of content. I know.
It is.
And working with multiple brands and working with creators, we've had the opportunity to shoot a lot of content. And sometimes we can, just our podcast alone, it's going to be 120 content for 3 months. So You're doing 180 a month, you said?
Yeah, personally, yeah.
That's just crazy. So what's the strategy behind that? You have to be organized. You have to systemize. You have to have a structure behind that. Is that correct? So talk about
100%. So on my personal side, the reason why I want to we put out 2 a day on my personal, and for me, I just want to become a marketing thought leader, respected in the space, so I can build brand equity and then push that into different directions as I go along my career. So my actual goal with my personal TikTok is not to get 1 million followers. It's to get as many people to follow along the journey and really believe in what I say and really trust what I say, so that I can use that equity in other places as I grow. Whereas with the Modern Marketing Certificate right here, the second company that we're building, the actual goal there is to just create the biggest kind of marketing information kind of machine. So on my personal, we want to stick with original thoughts and stuff that's really like expertise. But on Modern Marketing, it's much more just about putting out marketing advice that anyone can appreciate. So it's fun because, once again, on my personal, it's thought out in a certain way where it always has to be me. It always has to be my ideas and my thoughts. Whereas on the Modern Marketing Certificate, we're building it with the goal of removing my time and also scaling it. And so one of the things that we do, for instance, is 30 videos a week. 15 of them are websites, right? Very simple. Like, let's find websites that are going to help marketers and literally just be like, if you're in digital marketing, you need to hear this website, check it out right here. It does X, Y, Z. Follow for more tips. Like, that simple, right? So what that does is we can build a system where it's like, okay, you got to go find 15 websites. Here's the strategies to find them. But anyone can do that and anyone can shoot that video. So it'll remove my time, right? Then on the other side, it's course specific. So in the course, we teach high level planning, we teach landing pages, we teach all social media channels, organic and paid, and then we teach email marketing. And so we try to touch every single one of those boxes and just give a tip. So that's something that can be systemized as well, right? So if one of the things we want to talk about is TikTok ads, we can teach someone how to go find a list of the best TikTok ad tips and just pick one and make a TikTok out of it, right? And so on that side, it's much more built to be systemized and remove my time. Whereas on my personal brand, it's much more about being a thought leader in the space. And so therefore it has to be original thoughts.
I absolutely love that, man. I love the consistency. And what are some of the biggest things you haven't stopped posting yet, since that Wednesday?
I'll tell you something though. The reason I've never stopped posting is because I don't post. So once again, my goal with my TikTok, it's funny, like my TikTok looks quite professional, but it's because my goal with my TikTok was actually to remove my time, or remove as much time as possible, right? So all I wanted to do was show up, shoot, and leave. Like, that's all I want to do. I want everything else to be a system. And so the reason my content looks so professional is because I have a videographer and he's an amazing editor. And then there's a posting team on that side as well. And so it looks professional, but that wasn't the actual goal. It's just kind of how it happened based on what my actual goal was, which was to remove my time. We ran the math probably a couple months ago. My total time for my personal TikTok is 42.5 hours a month. From the first idea we come up with to the last video we post, everything in between takes 42.5 hours. My personal time is 15 hours. That's essentially coming up with the ideas and then shooting 2 4-hour shoots and then doing the final touches on the captions and the cover before they go out. So essentially the whole execution, my time is about 33% of it. So we've been able to cut that down.
That's awesome. What would you tell someone that doesn't have that?
You know what's funny?
Yeah.
Is I actually think my system isn't the best for growth on TikTok. If you look at the TikTok feed, I would say 9 out of 10 posts that are doing well are shot selfie style. They're shot on an iPhone, not shot how I shoot mine, right? So I actually think my content is not native to the platform. And because of that, it doesn't actually feel as natural in a TikTok feed. So I would actually tell people not to do what I do. I would tell people the easiest thing you can do is whatever you want to talk about, right? Say you want to talk about resume writing and you want to help people, get more jobs. Like, that's what you're passionate about. You want to build a community of people who want to get jobs, right? What you want to do is literally set up your iPhone, whatever tip you want to say, create it into like a 10 to 15 second script, right? So instead of saying, when you go into a job interview, you want to be super confident. Instead of looking at the camera and saying that, turn it into a 15-second script. So literally, if this is the camera here, you'd face this way and be like, how do I perform better in job interviews? And then you just go this way. And then you'd be like, well, you have to be confident. Then you go back to the first shirt and you'd be like, but how do I become confident? And you go back to this shirt and you'd say like X, Y, Z as the point. And then maybe you'd go direct to camera on a fifth shot and just be like, if you want to be more confident in job interviews, you have to do this, follow for more tips. Like, literally, if you just did that, 2 to 4 times a day ideally, but those videos can all be shot in app. You just trim the clips in app, put whatever song you want in the background, hashtag it, and that's that. And the reason I know this works is because one of my friends, Sahil Var, he's a semi-professional player over in Europe in soccer, but he's from here and he came to my house and he shot his TikToks in front of me. He probably averages 400,000 views a video, and that's how he shoots a majority of his videos, and he does them all in 5 minutes, outside of writing the script, which may take another 5. So 10 minutes total for 400,000 views 3 times a day. And so what I'm trying to say is you definitely do not need a film crew. With TikTok, this is the first time that I can think of, that production quality doesn't matter as much. It's all about value, right? And value can come in the form of entertainment. It can come in the form of information, come in the form of motivation. Like anything can be valuable. It doesn't just have to be a tip. You know what I mean?
I love that. Our value is really to help creators make this their full-time career, right?
Yeah.
Content creator. I love the way you just said you can make it super simple from shooting from your iPhone, but sometimes you like to make the simplest things the hardest things in life, So what do you think that an agency like ourselves or a marketplace like ourselves could do better from your perspective?
So to help creators monetize, is that the question? What they should do?
Yeah.
I think, well, the number one way, in my opinion, to monetize as a creator is to have some sort of service outside of TikTok, right? So for instance, whatever you're doing, you could run a TikTok consulting practice where you train people on how to consult brands on TikTok and you just sell that service and scale it, right? So while you're doing your thing, you just have something outside of TikTok. Another thing could be like, if you're a dancer on TikTok, you do virtual dance lessons or something outside of TikTok that is just its own business, and TikTok is one avenue to feed it. That's the most lucrative way to do it because you can control the value prop, you can control the pricing, you can control a lot of variables there to make it lucrative. Now, second thing is obviously brand partnerships. That's so easy to get. All you have to do is make it easy to email you, and you have to get back to them. And the key is like when you get a brand partnership, you want it to go well. I think a lot of creators are like, okay, I get a bag, I make a video, and that's nice. If it goes well, you can do it again and again and again, and all of a sudden it becomes like a monthly reoccurring revenue stream for you, right? And then what you do is you pre-sell videos. You'd be like, okay, my account's growing at X%. You can buy 5 in bulk right now at this price because every single month my price is going to follow that increase, right? And so then you make bags up front and have longer term brand partnerships like that. Another one is speaking. I think that's one that a lot of people don't think about, is like whatever you're doing, there's typically groupings of those individuals either in Facebook groups or in physical institutions or something, and you can get paid to go speak to them as an expert in that space, right? And so I think sometimes being on the offense of it, because say it's a Facebook group, right? They may not think about having a speaker for, just an hour. They may never have done that. But if you pitch them and be like, hey, you have all these members, I'd love to provide value by, talking about XYZ, even if you do it for a low fee, because what you can do is if you have a business outside of TikTok, you can go into the Facebook group, do the speaking engagement, get a little bag, but then push them to the business outside of the group as well. You know what I mean? So I think it just really comes down to being creative with different revenue streams. Obviously, affiliate links is great as well, like just for reoccurring revenue where you have to do nothing. So it's like whatever is, you're talking about, be able to reference to things that you believe in and then push people. So I have a great example. My buddy Adam, he runs a driveway sealing company here in Ottawa, and he actually executed on TikTok probably 9 months before me. And the thing about Adam is he got to like 100,000 followers pretty quick on TikTok, but he was showing his driveway sealing stuff, but he was also talking about just entrepreneurship, like how to hustle, right? When you don't have money, how to go to the dollar store, get the Windex, go knock on the door, get $40 to clean their windows. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that, teaching kids how to hustle. But the problem with him is his business was localized. He can only driveway seal in Ottawa, where we're from. And so he's getting 100,000 followers, but he can't monetize them in his current execution, right? So what does he do? He creates all these affiliate links to the products that he uses for his company. Now he's making reoccurring revenue just off that. Also, he's getting all these hustler kids who want to learn how to start these side hustles and businesses. So he starts selling courses, how to do eavesdropping, how to do window cleaning, how to do driveway sealing, how to do this, right? Then he signed this company called Jobber, and I think it's a CRM system for service-based businesses. And every single Jobber sale that comes from him through his affiliate link, he gets $500. And so he'll get like a couple grand just off of that a month. So all of a sudden, he built a TikTok following that he couldn't monetize locally, but he was able to monetize it when he built additional revenue streams by just being creative, right? So that's what I tell people who have like the pushback of like, I don't want 100,000 followers when I'm just a realtor in this one city. But it's like, what if you taught real estate courses to the country?
Wow, that's amazing. The one that we're really used to is the brand partnership, right? Affiliate links, and that's just amazing. So talk about community. How can a creator capture their community? Like, I know there's SMS community. I want to talk about that more, actually.
Yeah.
They capture that. Do they say, go to my link in my bio, click on my community, join our community? Like, how would you strategize on that?
So the actual tactical advice of like, do you have a Discord? Do you have a text service? Do you have a Facebook group? Do you have that? That's not really what matters. What matters is actually the intent that you care about the community. You're not just trying to like put them here so you can make more dollars out of them. So I actually think your community starts in your comment section. Before you pull them anywhere, you better be responding to every single comment, unless it's egregious and inappropriate, but reply to every single comment meaningfully. Don't just hire an intern to put smiley faces as replies to everyone. Like I want every single reply to be from your thumbs and to be meaningful. Because that's where you build the real depth. That's where you build the real sentiment. The reason it's such an opportunity is because no one does it. So for me, of course I don't get to every comment, but I really believe I get to 90% of my comments. And people appreciate it, and people then go follow me on Instagram or hit me up on LinkedIn because they feel that real human connection with me. And like I said, it's an opportunity because no one does it. If everyone did it, it wouldn't matter as much, right? So I think community really starts in your comments. Then I also think it starts in your content. I think it's very important to incorporate your true personality and have fun with it. So I did a video the other day kind of talking about this topic where I was like, when someone DMs you, don't just say thank you. DM them back and say, thank you, I really appreciate the support so much. I hope you have a great week, right? And so I gave that piece of advice, and then at the end of the content, I said, and even if you don't follow me, I hope you have a great week. And so all of a sudden, I like incorporated my personality, did a little kind of like wink at the camera, had fun, and told people like, even if you don't follow me, have a great week. What does that do? That builds brand equity with people. That makes people feel like, oh, this is a good person. This is someone I want to connect with. This is someone I just like. One of my favorite things, I'll give you a great story. I put out a piece of content the other week where I was literally like, if you're a music artist, you should put out a hook a day. Just put out a chorus a day, and when a chorus pops off, build out the song. But you should use TikTok as market research to then get the spark, to then invest the time, right? Of course, the art community wasn't pumped about that because they don't like whatever. And so people started duetting me from the art community or stitching me from the art community and being like, this guy's an idiot, don't listen to him, he doesn't know a thing about art. Like they started freaking out, right? So what do? I'm the first person to comment on their content and say, hey, I respect your opinion so much, and I wish you, the best of luck in your art career, right? It's kind of like killing them with kindness, right? They tried to punch me in the face, and I punched myself in the face twice. You know what I mean? Instead of hitting them back. And so what that then happens is the people that see that video and go to their comments, see that I'm the first comment sending them love. You can't help but like me when you do stuff like that, right? It's kind of like mental warfare to a certain extent. It's quite interesting. But that's where I think the community building starts, is in the content and in the comments, and playing those games of like when people try to put you down, you just send them love, right? And what happened in some of those videos too is then people would start replying to me and being like, yeah, no, I think you're right. Like telling me that I'm right, guy's content. And sometimes the content creator too would be like, hey, like no hate, like whatever. And all of a sudden they can't not like you and they respect you. And once again, that's just building community in the comments, even when it's a negative. I think negatives are opportunities because it's easy to show love when people show love, but how do you act when people hate? When people hate on you, if you hit them back with love, all of a sudden, like people really respect that. And so that's where I think it really starts. And then if you tactically want to pull them to a text platform or pull them to a Discord, I think it really comes down to like, when we do put them there, how are they going to get more value, right? I think a lot of people will be like, okay, we'll get the text community going and we'll send our merch drops there. Right? Like they'll get like early access to the merch, but it's like you're just collecting bags off your top fans in your Discord, right? Why don't you do a weekly giveaway giving away $300? You know what I mean? Instead of trying to collect for them, why don't you give more to them, right? And just build that equity up, because the real value comes from when you have fans and they talk about you to other people, right? It's the most powerful referral. The easiest sales in my company is when a client brings me a new client. They're already sold. You know what I mean? The biggest fans that you're going to get the easiest is when a current fan brings someone. And so I think it's important to not transact on the people that are easiest to transact on, your biggest fans. I think it's actually more valuable to use them as megaphones.
I love that perspective. What's your why?
I get so fired up to help people, and I think I'm passionate about marketing, which is really passionate about human psychology, I think, if you dive into it. But I think my why, I get so happy when I help people. It was funny, the other day I was thinking, and I was like, literally, if I had like tons of money, my favorite way to spend it would literally like be going out in the community and just like looking for people that I can tell are struggling and just chucking them cash. That would be how I would spend the money, and it's because I just love to help people. In my marketing agency, the reason I love paid ads is because on the back end, we see the value we drive. So every single month I get chills because I'm like, oh, we just helped this company out. We just like, it's provable. We can see it. It's not like in the gray area where we're like, yeah, it's working. Or you can see the dollars, right? And so I think for me, once again, with the Modern Marketing Certificate, when they shut the organization down, it changed my life, right? And I was like, damn, I want more people to have their lives changed. I'll do it myself. You know what I mean? And so I think for me, my true why is helping other people. I'm addicted to it. And then my passion is like human psychology and marketing.
I love it. I love it, man. Jeez, I'm learning a lot from you. So, where are you located now? Are you in LA?
I'm in Canada.
Canada?
Where are you?
North Dakota. Fargo.
North Dakota, very nice. Very nice. Yeah, I was just in LA in February. It's my first time to California.
Okay.
I got addicted, and I think I have to find a way to move there because it's just too beautiful.
The weather is a lot warmer there, too.
Exactly. What's your why, if you don't mind me asking?
A little bit similar of helping people, helping realize, okay, this is where the future is going. We see it. Let's go get it together, you know? I think what gets me out of bed, you know, is like, okay, well, how can I do better today? What's that 1% I can do better at? Well, so much more that you can give. There's so much more that you can do. There's so much, and everyone just has to realize that, you know? So I think that's my why more than anything. It's just trying to tell myself, all right, what can I do better today, and prove myself that I can do that. You know? So.
Yeah, 100%. I love that. Do you feel the need to help other people achieve that as well, or is it very internal for you?
I think it's both, honestly. When you see that person smiling, and when you see that person, wow, I did it, and they just realize that too for themselves.
Yeah.
It's like, it's huge. It's like that vibe is like, I want to be a part of that too, and then we go do that with more people. It's amazing. It's amazing.
100%. I'm a big believer that like finances has a diminishing return of happiness on it, but I don't think helping other people does. The way I always equate it is like, will your millionth dollar feel as good as your 900,000th dollar versus will your millionth person that you help feel as good as your 900,000th person that you help? And I think when you make that jump from helping people, it feels the same. It's just as intoxicating as the first person. Whereas when you make your $1 million, it's not as intoxicating as that first dollar. And so I think if you have a why that's around helping others, you can go forever.
Share some of the cool success that you've been having and launching your new brand.
So yesterday we launched Modern Marketing, and we got 40 inquiries on the website in the first day. And I think for me, it was a big realization on the brand equity, right? Like I've been building on TikTok for a long time. I've been building on Instagram for a lot longer, but I lost my Instagram recently, so I had to restart it. I've been building on LinkedIn recently, and so it's just a testament to like the community that I've built. I've never transacted the regular community because I run an agency that runs paid ads, so it's only business owners that we could work with before. So I've just had so much community that like I couldn't transact with, that I've just given to. And so the fact that on day one, you know, we just make a post and get 40 leads and we're only accepting 30 people in the program, it was just really exciting. I'm interested to see if I can really pull this off. So the difference with Cashion Marketing, which is my paid ads agency, and the Modern Marketing Certificate is Cashion Marketing was my first company. So when I started it, I didn't know what I was doing. I knew how to do ads, I knew how to make money through advertising, but I didn't know how to build a company. And so with that company, I learned as I went, but I also had to go back and fix it. Whereas with Modern Marketing Certificate, I kind of drew it up from day one in my head of like how this thing would scale. And so I'm curious to see if I can pull it off, right? If I can take something from my head and manifest it in a physical in a quick time frame and actually provide value and get people jobs and help people learn digital marketing. I think that's the thing I'm most excited to see if I can do it, because I think if I can pull it off, I'll be so confident for the next thing that I do, because I'll know I can do it, if that makes sense.
I got you. From your other agency, are you only working with brands, or do you also work with other agencies too?
We work with other agencies from like an outsourcing standpoint.
Okay.
A lot of agencies will outsource their digital ads to us if they get a client and the client wants a full scope. But we don't like do the marketing for other agencies. The split right now is probably half products and half services. I really like clinics. I find clinics is a really nice white space to be able to have success. So things like sports medicine clinics, dental clinics, denture clinics, things like that. Because a lot of those businesses are owned by practitioners. They're owned by people that are experts in the craft. They're not owned by entrepreneurs, right? And they're also businesses where you can build a sustainable business without having to like really market or anything, because like people need to go to the dentist. People need to go to get physiotherapy. Like these things are necessities. And so I found that like they're not quick to really adapt to marketing or market themselves well because they can build nice businesses without it. So if you have someone go in and do marketing properly, you can really capture a lot of market share pretty easily, which is ideally what we want in our agency, right? We want to go in and be able to help the client as effortlessly as possible and have them be pumped.
I respect that.
Yeah. One thing that I'm really passionate about is when people are young, and what I want people to understand is it's such a sweet spot to build your dream, because you're done with school to a certain extent. Typically you're done with school and you're not like in that stage of life yet where the social pressures feel like you have to have your shit together, right? I think from like, let's say 22, you're done school, and then 30 plus, there's a lot of pressure socially. So I think you have a nice window here where you have like no expectations. And so I think it's the most feasible time to just go after it and do whatever you want. But we've been trained to think the opposite. We've been trained to think that this is the time that you get your first job and you start trying to like work up the ladder and like you try to save some money and you know what I mean? But what happens is you start to do that, and then what do? You fall in love and get married. You buy a car, you buy a house, you have a kid. And so at this point, you no longer have the freedom to just do what you want. You can't just go chase your dream when you have to feed a kid and pay a mortgage, right? And so I think what I want to leave off with is just inspiring people that if you're in that sweet spot, you need to go for it. You need to be high risk, because it's probably the easiest time in your life to go after it. That's what I did, to be honest. And it's probably the reason why I'm super, super, super happy, is because as crazy as this sounds, I say, if I died right now, I would be content with what I've done up to this point. I don't think I could have done more up to this point, and I don't think a lot of people can say that.
I wish nothing but success for you, Hayden. I thank you so much for being on this podcast today. Thanks for the knowledge. I appreciate it, and I wish you, again, nothing but the best.
I appreciate that a lot, Lucas. Thank you so much for having me on, man. It was a pleasure.
All right. See you, man.